What's going on YouTube? Watsim here again with another Forza 6 tuning video. What a surprise, I know. And here, as you can see, we have the Renault Clio Sport. Now, I chose this car because I haven't done a hatchback properly yet. Now, although this isn't your stereotypical hatchback, I mean, it's mid-engine, it's a V6, it's not really a hatchback at all. It's kind of just a sports coupe wrapped in a shell of a hatchback. But anyway, it is a hatchback. So I thought, this has got to be a good car. This has got to be a good car to tune. I've raced it a few times in hoppers. It seems alright to race against. It was pretty good on Forza 5. So I thought I'd give it a go for this. Now, straight off the bat, I've got to say, this car is deceptive. You drive it, and it feels amazing. You feel quick. It handles brilliantly. It kind of goes around all tracks, but it's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I cannot find a track where this car truly excels. I have tried it around Silverstone, I've tried it around Spa, I've tried it around the Alps, I've tried it around Watkins Glen, and I've tried it around Catalonia. Now, it does okay times around all of them. It does fairly good times around Spa and Silverstone, but in general, it's not amazing. So if you're looking for a car that's going to dominate hoppers and dominate the times lists, you know, the rivals lists, this isn't the car for you. This is the car for you, however, if you just enjoy driving. You enjoy the feel of a good car that's got a good amount of power, and you can enjoy racing in it. Because this, I've not raced it yet, but I can tell this thing is going to be great. You can make decisions like at the last second in it. The braking on it is precise. The turning is just pinpoint. It's got great rear end grip, so you can power out of corners. I think this thing will be an awesome hopper car. But I repeat, it is not a speed machine. It is not something that you're going to dominate lobbies with or dominate the rivals boards with. It is not that at all. But with that all being said, let's get to the tune. Let's see what I did. Now, straight to the engine. I had a look at the engines on it. Now we've got the 4.5 litre V8, which is the engine from the Ferrari 458. Now I am going to put that in an A-class car at some point, but I can't find a car yet that I really can realistically put it in without the PI going too high. You can see that takes it to 720. I perhaps could fit it in this, but this isn't the car for it. For a car for that engine, I'm going to need wide rear tyres, and this just hasn't got it. But we stuck with the standard V6 engine in it. It's decent, it's good. I've left it rear wheel drive. I didn't put the turbo on because I don't like turbos. I don't like the extra torque they give in the low range. It just makes racing a real pain in the arse. It makes the car quicker, sure, but I just kept it naturally aspirated because it's a decent engine. It is what it is, and yeah. Aero, usual stuff. We've got the adjustable front aero, we've got the adjustable rear aero on, and I've left these off because they just add PI for no reason other than decoration. Tyres, right? I tried race tyres, but I couldn't get enough power in the car, so I went for sport tyres, and they've worked great. They are perfectly fine. As you can see, the handle is 5.6. It's fine. This car weighs nothing as well, like 2,581 pounds. You don't really need race tyres on it, to be honest. I mean, if I put race tyres on it and I put a little bit less power in it, maybe it would be a great car around like smaller tracks where you want to nip around really quickly. But I don't really want it for that. I just want it as an all-round good car. That's how I make my cars. Unless I'm tuning specifically for a track, most of my cars are just all-rounders, which is what this hopefully is. I've got the widest fronts, and they're only 235s. It's only a small car. And I've got the widest rears, and again they're only 285s. So, like I say, it's only a small car, but still, that's not much in terms of rubber on the rear. But it's good enough, definitely for this. Wheels, got the usual heavy spec wheels. I tried it with the light ones, but you know, it just adds too much PI. So with the heavy ones, and we made them, of course, wider. Not the widest, but wider. I like low profile tyres. I just feel it handles better. Okay, we have a street clutch. Now, the reason for that is because I've done so much to this car in terms of engine and everything else. I think I've actually put every engine upgrade on it. So when you get to that point, you can put little things like this on for no reason, other than just to take PI off. Sorry, add PI and take weight off. So we've got street clutch. We have a racing gearbox. We have race driveline, and we have the race diff, of course, as you do on every car. All of this is on. Every bit here is on. So, as usual, you know, when you can put these things on, you have to put them on. These are the things that give you your adjustments during the tuning part. If you don't put some of these things on, you can't tune your car. So it's necessary. Now, engine-wise, as I say, air filter, race. Manifold, race. Fuel system, race. Ignition, race. This is going to get boring. Exhaust, you guessed it, race. We even got racing cams on. I hate putting cams on, but certain engines like this, it works, it's fine. Just not for the V8, it's needless. The 5.7 litre V8, no point for that. Race valves. Race engine block. Race pistons. Oh, guess what? Race oil and cooling. And a race flywheel. So, yeah, quite a lot has been done to this. Pretty much everything, in fact, has been done to this. So that's all the parts done. Now let's get to see what I did with the numbers. So we've got 27.5 PSI. There we go, standard. Gearbox ratio. I don't know. I don't know what I've done with that yet. I mean, I like where it is at the moment, but I don't know. Because, like I say, I wanted this to be great around one track at least, and it isn't. So maybe if I play with the gearbox, I can make it either a better accelerating car so that it can be nippy around smaller tracks, or lengthen it so I can get more power out of it, so that it can be more of a power car. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I might just leave it as it is because I quite like it. It's quite charming the way it is right now for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like a little puppy. It wants to be better and it's really enthusiastic, but it just can't get there. It's I don't know. I like it. It's got character. So yeah, that's where we are with that right now. It's pretty standard, I think. I don't think I've moved it too much, but that's where it is. Camber, we've got -1.9 on the front and -1.5 on the rear. That's quite a lot for the rear, but I don't know, it just seems to work with this car. Now the toe, I've got 0.1 on the front and -0.2 on the rear. I was playing with the toe quite a lot with this car because you can make this car handle in different ways. Unlike a lot of cars on here where, actually I'll just show what I'm talking about here. If we look at the weight bias, so we've got 2,581 pounds, but it's got a front weight bias of 44%. Now, because it's mid-engine, obviously that's why that is. So you've got the engine in the middle, therefore it's putting a lot of the weight on the rear. But that usually means that a car is going to require quite a lot of rear support in terms of like the rebound and with the toe as well, and with your it escapes me now what I'm talking about, the camber as well. You need to tweak these things very differently. Now I found that I could tune this wing any way I wanted pretty much. It was really like accepting of any sort of tune I wanted to put. So if I were to put a lot of front bias on it in terms of rebound and the way it wanted to handle, make it handle more like a muscle car, I suppose, like a front engine muscle car, it would do it. It wasn't great. I mean, it was good around Catalonia when I did that. I was doing, I think, like 157.2s, which is decent. You'll win quite a few races in the hoppers with that kind of time, as long as you're not against like Alfa Stradalis and things like that. But I didn't like it in terms of its overall handling, so I changed it to, well, I'll show you. I've got it, that's quite a high rebound for me at the moment. It's 9.4 at the front and it's 9.5 at the rear, so we've got a slight bias towards the rear. Now, obviously that makes it really responsive because it's really stiff. But like I say, I had this thing, I had to upgrade the rear one lower like that, which means you get more bias towards the front, which means your front end is a lot more responsive, and your rear kind of just gets dragged around corners, which keeps it in check. But it just didn't feel right. And then I tried it like that with them both the same, and that worked quite well. If you want to try that, that works fine. but I found I couldn't quite get the power I wanted out of certain corners. Like I was testing around Spa, and I just couldn't quite get the power down the way I wanted to. So I did that. That killed that problem. It makes the front end a little bit lazier and the rear end more responsive. But that's how this car should be, with the bias, with the weight bias the way it is, like so heavily weighted towards the rear. But like I say, it seems really pliant to any way you want to tune it. So in terms of a practicing car to tune, if anyone wanted a car to practice with, I think this is a good one. If you're experimenting with your tunes and you don't really know what you're doing, and you kind of want to learn what's what does what, like putting like more rebound on, what does that do? Putting less rebound on, what does that do? I think this is a great car for that, because you will learn the difference in handling without it going suddenly out of control. Like if you do this to some cars, you just won't be able to drive them. Like the rear end will just go, or the front end will be too responsive, you end up oversteering everywhere. But this, like I say, it seems really pliant to experimentation. And yeah, the front caster's 5.3. I mean, that's neither here nor there, to be honest. Any roll bars, 29.22 and 23.71. I stiffened the rear slightly. I think I stiffened the front slightly as well, but I stiffened the rear a bit more because I found that going through sort of high downforce corners, the rear was kind of losing its shape, and I couldn't really get the power down the way I wanted it, so I stiffened that slightly, which kind of cured it. Makes it really good around Silverstone. This car, I think I did a 213.4 or something around Silverstone, which is good. It's not great. It's not, like I say, it's not really quick. This is the annoying thing about this car, but it's decent. I mean, I'll show the laps later that I did, and you'll see it looks great, but it just doesn't have it. It's so frustrating. I can't. Ugh. The springs, we've got okay. This is using the calculation as usual. Go through it again. You take the weight, times it by 0. Whatever the front weight bias is. So in this case it's 44, so 0.44. Divide that by 2, and you will get a number around this number. I can't promise you it's exactly the same as that right now, because I may have tweaked it slightly, but you get around that number. And then for the rear, you do exactly the same with the remaining weight percentage. So in this case, 44 at the front, so it'd be 56 at the rear. So you take the weight times 0.56, divide by 2, and that will get you something around that number. It won't be exactly the same as that. I know for a fact I've lowered that, but around that. Now, my ride height, I went 2 up this. I think I'm going to do 2 with most of my cars at the moment, because I just should be bottoming out a few times. I think we're getting a bit too low. Rebounders I've covered. You can kind of do what you want with it in terms of how you want the car to handle, but that for me is where I am right now. I may change that, I don't know. But for this tune that I'm going to upload, that is what it will be set at. If you enjoy that, please do leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me how you like it. If you need it changing, if you think it should be changed, or if you have changed it and it's better, again, tell me about it in the comments. It'd be great to know. Downforce, got quite a lot on the front, mainly because as I was playing so much with the rebound, the front end was doing some strange things that I couldn't quite understand, so I put that on just to kind of extra security, and it really does actually help around certain tracks. Like, this isn't a good high downforce track car. Like, I tried it around the Alps, and it's not competitive at all, really. It's all right to drive. It feels nice, but you're going to get destroyed by cars that are just, you know, have a much higher downforce rating and have that ability to power through corners better. Rear downforce, it's like 3/4 of the way up there, 2/3 maybe. I mean, I put a bit more on just because it needed it. It doesn't need a great deal of downforce. I mean, you could leave this standard, I think, fine, but I just liked it there. Brakes, usual, nothing new for me. 48% rear, and then pressure at 90%. They work quite well with this because it's such a light car. It stops really well. And differential, we've got 78 acceleration and 8% deceleration. So yeah, that's the tuning part out of the way, which I'm now apparently about to save. And yeah, so tell me what you think about that. And now I'm going to show a few laps of what I did with this very frustrating, beautiful kind of little puppy dog car. But yeah, let's see what I did.
As we can see, going around the Alps first. As I say, this is not the ideal track for this car in any way, shape or form. I thought actually when I was driving it felt pretty nice. As you can see, it holds the lines really well. You can kind of keep the power on to a certain extent for corners. I mean, you can see I'm not being that aggressive with it. It's really smooth, but not, you know, not a car that you can really throw into a corner and know that it's going to be there all the time. Like I say, I really wouldn't recommend it for this track. I was disappointed. I'll be honest. Sitting here right now looking at it, I'm really disappointed it's not better around this track, because I thought it would have been a nice change for it. But yeah, I mean, as a little fun drive around, like I say, I recommend having a go in it, but definitely not ideal for it. No, in no way. Go around there a little bit wide, you see, just quite at the apex, but yeah, it's decent. Next we've got Silverstone. Now, for me, Silverstone was where Silverstone and Spa were where this car would really did excel. As you can see, something to mention at this point: third gear. There is no reason to go below third gear through any of these corners, in my opinion, because the engine seems so willing to accelerate from such a low range. It's really nice. I mean, second gear you get too much engine brake and it slows you down too much. There's really no point, like I say. So third gear is ideal. And although this car hasn't got a great amount of power and a great amount of torque, it really does suit these longer tracks that require more power stereotypically. Let's say this Spa, I think Road America this would do okay round. I mean, it wouldn't do well against like my RX-7 gym, for example. My RX-7 would destroy this. I mean, in a straight line, it would be out of ideas. You'd have no idea. But as I say, jack of all trades, master of none. But if it had a preference, it would be tracks like this. Now going to Watkins Glen, I thought it'd be really good around this track, and to be honest, it was. It felt. In terms of feeling, this was the best. I thought I was going a lot quicker than I was, to be honest, because I was having such a good time driving around here. It stuck to every possible line I could find. It was brilliant. I can see back there through the fast chicanes. Really brilliant, so stable, keep the power on through it. Here, this section, lovely little section that it is. Fourth gear all the way, just keeping the power more or less on all the way through it. And it's beautiful. Lost the rear end there a bit, but that's mainly due to my poor driving and getting on the curb too early. I think, I don't know, it's tough to try and sell this car because it isn't that quick. This was such an annoying video to make, but just for the experience, just to enjoy driving, this is a car you've got to try. You've got to try tuning it. If you can make it better, like I say, please do leave a comment in the comment section. I'm really interested to see if someone can make a really fast tune out of this. I might try and tweak with the tyres and gearbox, see if I can get a slightly faster setup in certain situations. But as it is right now, I'm quite happy with it. I find a lot of my cars are kind of too quick for the hoppers in general, because the standard of driver in the hoppers isn't great. So this might even the playing field slightly. I might have more fun with driving this. So if you're in the same situation, you should try it as well. But anyway, that's enough of this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.